waking up. Not the cinematic version, where everything is soft light and perfect hair and whispered sweet nothings. I mean the real version. The version where one of us slept badly and the other is still half asleep, and the room is too bright or too cold or both. The version where neither of us is at our best yet, where the day hasn't been assembled, where all the armor is still off, and we are just two human beings breathing the same air in a room that belongs to both of us. That version. That is the version I want. That is the version I have been quietly longing for in ways I didn't always have the language to express. Because here's what I've come to understand about love. Real love. Not the kind you perform, but the kind you actually live inside of. Real love is not most itself in the grand moments. It is most itself in the in-between. It is most itself in the way you pass each other in a small hallway, and one of you reaches out without even thinking, just a brush of fingers, just a second of warmth, and then you both keep moving. It is most itself in the way you learn, over time, how the other person takes their coffee, what silence means when it comes from them, which worries they carry quietly, and which ones they speak out loud. It is most itself in the accumulation of 10,000 small, forgettable moments that somehow add up to the only life you'd ever want. I want to accumulate those moments with you. I want to gather them like something precious, even when they don't feel precious in the moment. Even when it's just Tuesday and nothing special is happening, and we're both a little tired, and the world outside is loud and complicated. I want to look at you across an ordinary room on an ordinary evening and feel that thing, that specific, irreplaceable thing, that tells me I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I believe you are the person who could give me that feeling. I believe it in a way that goes deeper than logic, deeper than anything I could explain if I tried. But I also need to tell you something that I think about a lot. Something that I rarely hear people say out loud in conversations about love and marriage and forever. And it is this: choosing each other once is not enough. It was never enough. The most important choosing happens every single day, in the moments when it would be easier not to choose. In the moments when you're frustrated and I'm distant and neither of us is being our best self, and the easy thing, the comfortable thing, would be to just close off, to go quiet in the cold way rather than the safe way, to let distance grow, because bridging it requires effort, and effort requires vulnerability. And vulnerability is exhausting when you're already tired. In those moments, those exact, specific, difficult moments, that is when I would need us to still choose each other, not dramatically, not with speeches or grand apologies or tears necessarily. Sometimes just with a hand on a shoulder, sometimes just with the willingness to say, I know we're both struggling right now, and I'm not going anywhere. Sometimes just with staying in the room when every tired, defended part of you wants to walk out of it. That kind of choosing. The unglamorous, daily, quiet kind. That is what I am asking for. That is what I am offering in return. And I want to talk to you about the hard days, because I would be lying to you. And lying is something I refuse to do. Not to you, not in this. If I let you believe that what I'm describing is effortless, it is not effortless. Love is one of the most demanding things a human being can undertake. And anyone who tells you otherwise is either very lucky or not paying close enough attention. There will be days between us, if we get to have days between us, and I have to believe we will. There will be days that test us in ways we cannot predict right now. Days when life comes in from the outside with its weight and its chaos and its cruelty, and lands right in the middle of everything we've built. Days when we are not each other's safe place, but each other's closest target. Because that is sometimes what happens when you love someone, that completely their words reach places no one else's can. I want you to know that I am not afraid of those days. I want you to know that I am not asking you to be perfect, or to always have the right words, or to never hurt me by accident, or even on purpose in a moment of pain. I am not asking for a love without weather. I am asking for a love that knows how to find its way home after the storm. I am asking for a love that has enough roots to survive the seasons. All of them, not just the warm and beautiful ones, but the cold, stripped bare, difficult ones too. Because I have seen what it looks like when two people love each other but don't have roots. I have seen how quickly things that seemed solid can become unstable when they were never really planted deep enough, and I don't want that for us. I want us to be planted. I want us to grow something that is slow and strong and so deeply established that when the wind comes, and it will come, it always does, we bend but we do not break. We bend toward each other. That's the key. We bend toward each other, not away. Can I tell you something I've never told anyone? Something I usually keep so far inside myself that I almost forget it's there, until a quiet moment catches me off guard and brings it rushing back to the surface. There is a version of the future I dream about that is so simple it almost embarrasses me to describe it. Because from the outside it would look like nothing. It would look so ordinary that no one would understand why it means everything to me. But inside it is the whole world. It is just an evening. A regular evening. Nothing is happening. There is no occasion, no celebration, no reason for the moment to be remarkable. We are home. Whatever home means for us, wherever we have built it, we are inside it, and it is ours. And you are somewhere nearby. Maybe in the next room. Maybe sitting across from me. Maybe your head is on my shoulder and you've been quiet for a while, and I don't know if you're asleep or just resting. And there is music playing softly, or maybe there isn't. Maybe the only sound is the kind of comfortable quiet that you can only have with someone you completely trust. And I am not performing. I am not managing anyone's perception of me. I am not being anything other than exactly who I am. And you are there. And it is enough. It is more than enough. It is everything. That is the dream. That evening. That simplicity. That safety. I have wanted that specific feeling for longer than I have wanted almost anything else. And the reason I am telling you this is because I need you to understand that when I talk about marrying you, when I talk about choosing you and building with you, this is what I mean. Not the ceremony, not the title, not even the love in its biggest, loudest form. I mean that evening. I mean that quiet. I mean the version of me that only exists when I feel safe enough to stop trying. And you make me feel safe. Even like this, even from here, even in the imperfect and complicated way that we exist in each other's lives. You make me feel something that functions like safety. Something that says, it is okay to be real here. It is okay to lay it down. And do you have any idea how rare that is? Do you understand what you've given me just by being who you are and showing up the way you show up? You probably don't. You probably think you haven't done anything at all. But you have. You have done so much more than you know. I want to learn you. That is something else I think about. Not just love you. I want to learn you, the way you learn something that keeps revealing new layers the longer you study it. I want to know what you look like when you're proud of yourself. I want to know what you're like when you've had a terrible day and you don't have the energy to explain why. I want to know how to be present for you in that moment without making it about me, without filling the silence with the wrong things. I want to know what makes you laugh until you can't breathe, the specific kind of humor that reaches something deep and unguarded in you. I want to know your fears, not the ones you recite casually, the socially acceptable ones, but the real ones, the ones that visit you in the dark, the ones you've never said out loud because saying them feels like giving them too much power. I want you to trust me with those. And I want to earn that trust, slowly, deliberately, the way trust is supposed to be earned, not demanded, not assumed, but built carefully over time through consistency and gentleness and the repeated, demonstrated proof that what you hand me, I will hold with care. I want to be the person you hand things to without hesitation. I want to be the person you call first, not because you have to, but because something in you always gravitates toward me in the same way I always gravitate toward you. And there is still so much I haven't said. There is still the part about forgiveness, about how I believe forgiveness between two people who truly love each other is not a single act, but a practice, something you return to again and again, something that requires more grace than we think we have until we reach for it and discover it was always there. There is still the part about the children we might have one day, and the weight of that, and the beauty of that, and what I want to teach them about love by the way they see us love each other. There is still the part about growing old, about what I imagine it feels like to have lived a whole life beside someone, and to look at them across a room full of decades, and feel something that has only deepened, only settled further into the bone, only become more unshakable with every year that passed. There is still the part about what I need you to know about me, the parts I haven't shown yet, the parts I'm still working up the courage to show, because even now, even in this, even with everything I've already given you in these words, there are rooms inside me I haven't opened the door to yet, and I want to open them. With you, one door at a time, in whatever order feels right, with no pressure and no deadline, and nothing required of you except that you simply stay. Simply keep showing up, simply keep being the person that makes me believe that all of this hoping and risking and choosing and trusting, is worth it. Because you are worth it. Every single uncertain, terrifying, beautiful step of it. You are worth all of it. And I want to talk to you about something that doesn't get said enough. Something that sits right at the center of every lasting love story that has ever existed, and yet somehow it gets skipped over in favor of the more glamorous parts. I want to talk to you about being witnessed, about what it means to be truly, completely, without condition or edit, witnessed by another person. Because I believe that is the deepest human hunger there is, deeper than the need to be loved even. Because you can be loved by someone who doesn't really see you, and that love, as warm as it might feel, will always have a hollow place at the center of it. But to be seen, to be genuinely, honestly, all the way seen, by the person who also loves you, that is something that changes a person at the cellular level. That is something that heals things words cannot reach. I want to witness you. I want that to be one of the most deliberate things I do in our life together. To actually see you. Not the version of you that you've decided is safe to present. Not the curated,